And I am going to be introducing to you author Wendy Higgins, and we're going to be talking about her brand new book called The Kiss Collector. Oh my God, this is so much fun. Seriously, it is YA, but I love YA books. You know why? Because they make me feel like I'm 15 again. That's why I love YA books. And I loved this book so much. It made me so happy. I can't wait to talk to her. I'm so happy I found this book. So everybody, here is Wendy. Hi everyone, I am so excited because I am speaking with author Wendy Higgins, and we're talking about her brand new book. Came out 2 days ago, right? Today's Thursday. And it's called The Kiss Collector, and she's got it in front of her. It's a YA. She's going to show us the cover. Yes. You know what, Wendy, I'm 54, but I am a sucker for a YA book like you wouldn't believe.
There's just something so fun about the teen genre.
I know. I feel like it always takes me back because I fell in love with books in my teen years. So when I read a YA, I'm like, oh, this is what I loved. Because this book, I would have read it 50 times when I was 15. Okay. Because you didn't just read them. Of course, we're back in the day when you got a book, you didn't just read it once. You read it and reread it and reread it.
You didn't have as many options.
Yes.
Like you do now. We can read a new book every couple of days.
Yes, absolutely. So I thought when I read this book, I'm like, oh my God, I would have so worn the pages on this book. It was so much fun. And
thank you.
I see you write in so many different genres. So many different than this, but this was it fun to write?
It was very fun. I'm sorry, my dogs are being very nosy about what's going on.
I love puppies though. They can be in the camera.
One, and here's the other one.
Oh!
Okay, now you've both
they're okay, we got our camera time, thank you.
They're climbing all over me why are you acting so weird? Who are you talking to? Yes, this is my first contemporary teen novel. All of my other ones they have some element of fantasy or science fiction or, some sort of speculative element. But this one, I wrote this one for my high school girlfriends. Now, I have a group I was a cheerleader like Zay.
Me too.
Story. Yes.
Me too. I think that's why I liked it so much.
I super hate the stereotype of cheerleaders being such awful people, and I'm like, none of us were like that. We were friends with everybody. And sorry, there's drama going on over there with my son and the dogs.
We're fun
so that
people,
was one thing,
right?
What's that?
We're fun,
yes. I'm like, and my editor was actually like, I'm a little nervous the fact that they're all cheerleaders. And I'm like, what? See, this is exactly why I wanted to write this story. I'm like, I don't want you to be nervous. I wanted to stop that stereotype. So that was one reason. And just all of the shenanigans that they got into, all of the drama, all of the, the highs and the lows. It was just my friends, when I gave this book to them to read, it was like a bonding moment all over again for us. We relived all of these things. So many of the little details were things that happened to us. I don't want to give away too much, but well, first of all, just all of the different parties and the dancing, when the boy was mean and they biscuited his car.
Yes.
That was a real thing. I don't know, just so many little things, so many different aspects of the characters' personalities. I picked from the girls in my life, and we would fight, and we would like the same boys, and it was always, but in the end we always came back to each other, and we always loved each other. And I'm 41 years old now, and those girls, we still stick by each other even though we live far away. We have a Facebook group for each other, and I wanted this book to be for them, but it's had so much success as far as people, in 2 days, people, I'm like, wow, I had no idea it was going to ring so true for so many people. So now I'm like, there's this whole other world of contemporary novels, but for me, it's hard to find the plot for a contemporary novel. I feel like, that is hard for me because it's easy when you write fantasy to make the stakes
Right.
high, to make the danger element, you know, you can just make it up.
Yeah, you just right.
With
Well,
real life,
dealing
there's only so many things that you can, and a lot of the time, especially with teen novels, the struggle um, is within. It's
right.
learning and the self discovery and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, what I was thinking too when because I saw that you had written fantasy and then this book, and I was like, you know what? I think that writing contemporary is hard too because of slang, because of technology, keeping up on their like my I have a son that's 15 and a son that's 19, and keeping up with their
It's
what
so true. You
like
have to be super careful. You don't want the slang to be so modern and
right,
unique that 4 years from now it's dead and
right.
people are like,
What?
it ages the book. So you
Yes.
have to be careful what references you make to slang and technology. I try to stick with things that can last longer, but oh my goodness, there was even a reference in my very first book that I wrote it back in 2010, a reference to her flipping open her phone. And I'm like, nobody has a flip phone anymore.
Yeah,
Just
it's
things like that you assume will always be around, and they're not. You
they're
have to
not.
be so careful. Um,
Yeah, and
music references too, just to everything.
yeah,
It's
and
all
social media even. Like if you were to say Twitter or if you say Snapchat and Snapchat
exactly.
goes away in a
You
year.
can't. I had to, I tend to make up names for
Yeah.
things so
Yeah.
that, it's just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, I saw that and I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, you have to because I love this kind of YA. And if I were to ever write, which I'm not going to, but if I did, that's what I always thought that I'd do. But that would be
Hmm.
what would stop me, would be slang. Like follow my children around and be like, what are you saying? What is that?
Hmm.
Like they speak in such, even my I have 6 children. So you'll see me going all over. So my oldest son is 31. My youngest son is 15 and I've got everything in between. And it is crazy. It is a different world than my 31-year-old when he was 15.
It's
And
very different.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
And
even my 23-year-old will say something and I'm like, what?
what? So I have a 12-year-old and she uses slang a lot, but when I wrote this book, she was only 10. She wasn't into anything
Okay.
like that yet. And I called one of my friends and I said, "Can I talk to your daughter?" She was a teenager. And I said, "Ashley, do you guys use the word player anymore?" And she's like,
Mm,
"What do you mean?" I said, when a
he's a
boy,
player.
yeah, I'm like, and she goes, "No, nobody says that anymore." And I was like, "Well, what do you guys say?" This is one of my friends from church, her daughter. And she was like, um, "I don't know, Miss Wendy, it's really inappropriate. I can't really tell you." And I was like, "What is it?" And it was, the F word with BOI. So I was like,
Wow.
that's the word that is used now instead of
Wow. That
player.
even shocks me. I'm like shocked. Okay.
Yeah. So that is in the book. I put that. I was like, well, okay, well, I'm going to put it in.
Yeah. You're like, thank you. Whatever.
Because there was literally no other word that
Wow.
kids are using now for a boy who plays a field or so.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, player. I'm like, oh, can she just so I was thinking if I had to write another contemporary, it would be really fun to write one that was set in the 90s.
There
So
you
I
go.
can
Like,
use
yeah, do
all
old
of my
school.
90s slang and have lyrics
Yes.
from the 90s music on the
Yes.
beginning of each chapter. I'm like, oh my gosh, how fun would that be? They're limited with the ways they can communicate. They have pagers, not cell
Yep.
phones,
Yep.
oh my gosh, it would be so much fun.
Yeah. And you know what? The 90s is like cool for them too.
It is cool. And then you have a lot of throwback things that are cool right now, like the 80s and Stranger
Yep.
Things,
Yep.
that sort of thing. And I'm like, I could totally be like a nostalgic,
Yes.
it would be fun.
Talk about hair.
Again, I just couldn't, I would have to find a plot, but
Yeah. Talk about hairspray and,
yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, no, but that's why I love, and I'm gonna bring my notes closer because I can't see them; they're so far away. So I'm gonna tell everybody, because I just like to share your writing. So you start the book off. I mean, we love the title and cover. I love the cover; it's amazing. The Kiss Collector, I love that. I loved it right from the start. When I first saw this book, I'm like, yes. And then you started off, after 8 months of gentle begging, I finally gave in to Wiley. And I was like, oh no. But You'll find out. And then at the end of the first chapter, which is always my favorite part of a book, because you have to get me to chapter 2 to keep me reading. So I
Right.
always pay attention to that last part of chapter 1. And you say, I miss Wiley already. And I was like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I loved it. The first chapter hooked me. I was like, yes, I am so in this book right now. So, you know.
Yay!
And that's what everybody is finding out with this book. And I think the title and the cover right away, like that's what grabs people. But then that first chapter just hooks you, and you're in
Oh,
both feet
good.
into the book.
See, I worried with having a book with a title that has the word kiss in it that it won't be taken seriously. That
Right.
it's not really literature. It's, and it's definitely not literary. It's, it's very commercialized. But I thought, you know what? This is exactly what I wanted when I was a teenager. And
Right.
it wasn't out there for me. So I was like, I'm
Exactly.
going to write for the girls that were like me. Anyone who doesn't take it seriously, well, then it's just not for them. I
Yeah.
mean, because she really goes through a transformation
You
in
really
her
don't.
heart and her mind. And yes, there is plenty of silliness along the way,
Yes.
but that is what being a teenager is all about.
Where did you get her name? I love names, first of all. Like, I love that.
Zay
If I
is a
were-
real name of a girl that I
Yes.
worked with when I was a youth leader for high school girls. And Zay is one of the girls who I worked with. And I always loved her name. And I said, Zay, I'm going to write a character with your name someday. And she was like, oh, please, Miss Wendy, please write a book with my name. And she is so excited. She keeps messaging me on Instagram to say, is my book out yet? Is my book out yet? She's precious. So, yes, she's a real girl. And she is named after her father, Xander. And it was, she was named Xanderia. And then they, nicknamed her Zay. But yeah,
I love that. I mean,
so fun.
I'm a sucker for names, and when I find a main character's name that I really like get attached to. But I shared with you a little bit about what my day is like today, and it's a stressful day. But when I was reading, because I had your book on my Kindle, I was reading the end, and you end the Kindle, and I don't know if you end your book with this, but on the Kindle, the last thing that's there is 2 Timothy 1:7, and it said, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." And when I read that today, because today was the first day I read that part, and it like brought tears to my eyes because I'm like, I so needed it, and it's so comforting. And I was like, I wonder why she put this there. Like, like it wasn't like the book is very spiritual or anything, but you put it there for a reason. And
No,
so
it's not. I'm a very spiritual person, but I don't want to, to force that on my readers. And I have to be careful too, because it's not, I'm not writing for a spiritual market with HarperCollins.
Right.
So, but the acknowledgments are me. They're my part. They're my soul. And I always want to put a Bible verse in there that just summarizes up how I feel when I finish the book and the thought that I want to leave readers with. And I was especially thinking of teens in that moment, and just how tough those years can be, and how timid, you are about finding your place in the world. And so, yes, I try to find one for every book that I write.
Well, but don't you think it's like so awesome that there I was reading it today, just reading over your acknowledgments, and then it was right there, and I looked it up, immediately I looked it up, and I was like, oh, isn't that like,
and really everyone is going through something. And I feel like everyone who reads a book reads because they need that little bit of escapism and that little bit of like, to get their mind in a place of sort of comfort.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So I just had to tell you, because I was like, that was such a,
I'm so glad.
That was such a moment for me today. I loved it because it's like, okay. All right.
I know, it makes me emotional.
I know, me too. I was too. And I was, because I was like, can I do this interview? And when I did that, when I read that today, I was like, yes, I can do it. I can pull myself together. I can put some makeup on. I can do this and, and just let go like I'm supposed to. So, it really helped me. And just being able to talk to you today has helped me so much. And sometimes that's all we need. It's a little connection, with somebody.
Exactly. I'm
And,
so glad.
and it can make the whole day better. And we have to remember that when we're out and about in the world that, our connections are everything. And,
So true. So true. That's what life is all about, is
exactly.
connecting with other people.
Exactly. And so you are going to write another one? Like, I really want you to write another one.
I have no contract right now with any
Okay.
publisher. I'm really at a sort of a limbo phase of my career right now. I found that, publishers aren't really buying the things that I normally write, the fantasy things. So I sort of backed off. I don't even have a literary agent right now. So I'm just sort of waiting to see what hits me next, or, what direction I'm going to go. And I'm just trying to, focus on my family. I am doing critiques for writers and aspiring authors to just try and make ends meet until I figure out what I'm going to do next book-wise.
I tell you what, after this
crazy
book's
time.
success, I mean, just seeing, like you said, just seeing what's done already, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, I was like, and that's why I always look to the YA, because I do feel like they kind of steer things. I don't know. Teens are always, I mean, those are our big readers. They really are. I mean, think about it. Even though there are, like New York Times bestseller gears towards adults, teens read. Like my teenagers read. We're busy. It takes time to read.
Right.
But they are, for some reason, even with technology, I mean, by nature, they are readers. And,
yes.
I think that this kind of a book right now was just so much fun for teenagers, and they've had so much fantasy too. I mean, that's huge.
They have, true.
Huge market.
I feel like it was sort of the perfect time for it, because if you look at Netflix, the movies that are really popular on there right now, you've got, To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Yeah.
The Kissing Booth.
Yeah, the Kissing Booth. Yep.
I mean, there are a bunch of just cute, like romantic comedy teen movies on there right now, and I'm like, this sort of just falls right in there with all of that. So, I mean, obviously there is a need out there for it right now, and so I'm glad that the timing worked out. And actually, I probably shouldn't say this, but I do have somebody that's looking at it from like a talent scouting agency, with the hopes that she can sell it to Netflix. And then I also had somebody contact me from Sony. So it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Who knew? All I had to do was write a contemporary to get a little interest.
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
I mean, you never know what's going to happen. It'll be exciting and just fun to see. But
yeah, I'm just happy that they're paying attention. So,
yes,
that's awesome. So show us the cover. I'm going to put Wendy's links below here so you can go right there and buy it. This is brand new this week. And I know, I love it. So I am so happy I found you. I'm happy I found this book. It made my week. I felt like I was 15 again, and that's always a good thing.
Yay, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and I'm glad that you went ahead and were able to take this on today. And
yes.
I appreciate everything.
Yes, it was meant to be. Trust me. And so I'm so happy that I did. So we, whenever you write your next one, you know where to find me, because I'll read it. Read it early. I can't wait. You have a great holiday season, and, have fun with your family and everything.
Same to you. And I'll be thinking about your family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thus far, you heard our whole conversation. I am so happy I talked to her today. Isn't she awesome? Oh my God, what a sweetheart. And, like we talked about, I'm having some issues with my granddaughter today. It would have been really easy to cancel this. And something in me was like, no, just talk to her. Because trust me, worrying gets you nowhere. I've paced enough today. And my hair keeps sticking into my lipstick. There we go. And, so finally I was like, just do it. Just do the interview. Just talk to her. Talk to people. Sometimes when we're going through stuff, we just need to talk. And then it's like, we can smile, and she made me smile. So thank you, Wendy. You made me smile on a very tough day, and I am forever grateful. I will have all of her links listed below. Have fun, read this book. You will love it. Thanks, everyone.